All right, let's see what we've got here. I just cut this box open, looked in, didn't know what it was, and then could see, oh, this is the One Ring Lord of the Rings role-playing game. So I just stopped and then brought it over here to shoot an unboxing and initial impression video of. So this is literally how it showed up to me. So let's see. So we've got the dice, Free League. I don't even remember what all I got. I just backed it, and then I did see that there was they were shipping. So we got some dice here. This, the One Ring, role-playing in the world of the Lord of the Rings. It's got a textured cover to it. This is kind of shiny, but it's still textured. This is all matte up here. You can probably see the glint on it. It's a nice thick book. Looks nice. We're going to open this up and flip through it in more detail here in just a moment. But that looks like the core rule book. The One Ring. I bet this is... Oh, yep. Okay, so Loremaster's screen right here. So landscape Loremaster screen. All right. So we got that. Oh, and the starter set. Okay. All right. So that's what we got here. We got the dice. We've got the starter set. We've got the GM screen, and we've got the core rulebook. What do we want to get into first here? Well, let's start with the starter set. So it says, strange invitation from Cousin Bilbo, mentioning that he's in need of help. Most odd. But then again, a great many things about that particular hobbit have been odd ever since that business with the dragon. Nothing wrong with taking a stroll and helping old Bilbo, I suppose. After all, there aren't any dangers to worry about here in the Shire. Okay. Let's see. Let's go for it. Got a matte, untextured box here. So we got dice, both D12s and D6s. Looks like cards. Looks like coasters, but they're not that thick. That would be cool to have like quick reference coasters. Maybe these are like reference cards for rules, close combat. I bet that's what they are. Some way to like reference your actions or something like that, perhaps. Games catalog. Okay, so that must be everything that they produce. Cards. I like equipment cards, so this is pretty cool. I want to see what they are. Dagger, cudgel, short sword, sword, long sword. And then stats on the back. I like equipment cards, so I approve of that. Might have to put these in some card protector sleeves. Well, I suppose what type of Lord of the Rings role-playing game would be complete without a large map of the entire realm? Oh, this is not quite the entire realm. Nope. I guess this is just Eriador. So this must be where the starter set takes place in. It did say that it was about taking care of something that Bilbo wanted around the Shire. So I bet the starter set takes place here in Eriador. And then we've got a more detailed map of the Shire here. That's cool. Looks like obligatory starting characters. We've got Drogo Baggins, Esmeralda Took, Lobelia Bracegirdle, Paladin Took II, Primulia Brandybuck, Roramic Brandybuck, Balin, son of Fundin. Oh, and Bilbo. I always like pre-generated characters. I actually like them even in not starter sets. I mean, they kind of have to have them in starter sets. It's kind of a staple of starter sets. But really, I'm in favor of pre-generated characters people can just pick up with any type of game, even if it's not a starter game. So that's good. Okay. Starter characters. Now we get to some books. That's just the bottom of the box. One Ring, The Adventures. This volume contains 5 adventures to be played using the pre-generated characters provided in the box set. While they can be played as separate scenarios, the adventures can be linked together, allowing the players to explore the width and breadth of the Shire and beyond. They all take place in or around the year 2960 of the Third Age, or 1360 by Shire reckoning, although the date is flexible and the Loremaster can adjust if needs be. So I'm not going to get into that, because I am sure there are spoilers here. It'll be something fun to run. So we've got that for the Loremaster. We've got the rules. It said it came with a condensed rule book. So this must be our starter rule book. Very nice. That does look like the place to start. And then, what is this? A world book that's just focused, or a regional book based just on the Shire. It looks like what this is. So yes, looks like a reference guide to the Shire. Well, that looks like a very nice starter box. I like the way that it looks. It looks like it's got everything you need in it, and some fun extras, probably like the cards. I like starter boxes because they come with all kinds of fun stuff. Oh, there is some quick reference, I suppose, on the front of the box, or the bottom of the top of the box, too. Cool. I'm not going to open up the dice. They're probably very similar to the other dice that I've got. 2 D12 feet dice, 6 D6 dice. These are just black instead of white, so these might be the bad guy dice instead of the good guy dice. I'm going to put them in the starter box. I'm going to save the book for last, I think. I'm going to go ahead and open up this. Not that the interior of it's probably going to mean a whole lot to us at the moment, but we will at least see what it's like. It doesn't surprise me at all that this is what I backed it for. This is, to me, is kind of the basic intro to any kind of RPG. We've got the starter box, the core rule book, and a GM screen. So, said it's landscape style. I like landscape style screens. So it's a trifold. Show you what the art looks like all the way across. And then here we have the Game Master side of it, or the Lore Crafter side of it. So styled very much to look like what we were looking at inside the books in the starter set. Let's see, we've got special success table, conditions, advantages, complications, risk levels, when to hit, endurance, resting, first aid, sources of injury, wound severity, council structure, that's interesting. Journey rolls, marching tests, journey events table, perilous areas, sources of shadow, sources of dread, misdeeds. So this looks like definitely a crunchy kind of GM screen, which is what I like. If you're going to have the Game Master screen, I think it should definitely have crunch in it. I also have this, Loremaster screen and Rivendell compendium. It says the Rivendell compendium contains information about the last homely house, including a map of the valley and plan of the house itself. Some of Rivendell's inhabitants are included, including Elrond, who can be used as a new patron. Finally, there are also new rules to create High Elf player heroes. Oh, okay, I see. So that's just the packaging. And then here we have the One Ring Rivendell. So kind of like a mini region book. Pretty cool. I like that, the art there in that map. That's pretty neat. I'm going to put it also in this starter set. So now we get to the main book itself. The One Ring. It says, the One Ring is set in the time period running from events narrated in The Hobbit to those told in The Lord of the Rings. Encompassing a span of 8 decades, this period is ushered in when Bilbo the Hobbit finds the ruling ring, and culminates with the war fought by the Free Peoples against the Dark Lord Sauron and the destruction of the ring. So we got Gandalf over here writing something, so we are definitely in classic Hobbit and Lord of the Rings timeline. I like the layout. I think they did a good job with that. I'm not at all familiar with the One Ring role-playing game. I think I did have a couple of the PDFs that I bought, perhaps on Humble Bundle or something, that I think were all the D20 version, and I read over it, but I never played it, and I had never gotten into the One Ring. So here is the second edition, so I really want to know what it's about, because I don't know anything about its mechanics, I don't know anything about its resolution systems or anything like that. So maybe now is a good time to get into it. I'd been following... Oh, we got a ribbon here. Oh, that's nice. I'd been following Lord of the Rings role-playing for a while, though I missed out on the last Lord of the Rings, the One Ring iteration. I had MERP, and then I had the Decipher game that was kind of short-lived. It was short-lived. And now, here I am with this. This is definitely a good layout. I think that's an advantage of books that role-playing books that are specific to a particular setting, is because then you can theme all of your books to that setting. And I think that does add something when you're trying to reference things at the role-playing table. Of course, I'm also a fan in general of generic systems, but one of the disadvantages there, not a huge disadvantage, but it is a disadvantage that if you've got a generic system and you're trying to get into a particular world, then your generic rule books kind of break the vibe of the table when they're sitting out and you're thumbing through them. It's better, I think, to maintain immersion in the world, to have themed rule books. I like that. Combat sequence. I'm interested to know more about things like this, how the fellowship phase works, and some of the different mechanics that they have specifically to try to invoke the feel of The Lord of the Rings and Middle-earth. Looks like we're into the bestiary now. This looks like we're in a little bit of something about the land. Let's see. Oh yeah, the world. So there is a little bit of the geography. What's the next section? Appendix. Oh, and we've got a map of Middle-earth. Not all of it, of course, but a map here with the hex grid overlaid. I bet that's to help you plan out journeys. I really want to know how they handle journeys. I think that's going to be interesting. I'm going to have to get into this. But, of course, as you know, man, I've got tons of gaming stuff sitting around this house to dig into, and I've got more stuff than I've got time to do it in. But I'm very glad that I backed this. This is, I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan. I'm a huge J.R.R. Tolkien fan. So this looks like definitely a good thing to add to the collection. Hopefully we'll get to play. The One Ring starter set, core rule book, and the Lore Crafter screen. So that's the unboxing and kind of initial impression of it. There's only so much you can get into in an initial impression of a giant book like that, and plus all this other stuff. But here it is. I got it. It looks good. Thank you, everybody who has part of the publishing and the Kickstarter and everything like this. I really appreciate your making it and running the Kickstarter, and that way I could have it. So thank you so much, and thank you for watching. I will see you in another video.